This right here is the Honor 50, and this phone actually boasts an impressive 108 megapixel sensor. In this video, I'm going to take the phone into the City of London, test out a couple of different features, test out a couple of different modes, and see how good that 108 megapixel sensor really is. I would like to thank Honor for sponsoring this video, of course, sending out the phone and making this possible. Let's jump into the City of London and take some photos. I'm at the Lloyd's lookup spot here in London, which is just a great place to get some architecture. And I've currently got the phone on high resolution, so we should be shooting these at 108 megapixel. And straight away, this looks fantastic. And that's not even on the wide lens. So let's take off high res, which means we're just on the normal camera now. I'm gonna swipe down, so now we're looking on the wide angle, which actually looks amazing. Ooh, that wide angle is sick. I really like that actually. Let's get close to this building on the left of me here. I think the wide angle is actually 8 megapixels. And then when you change from the wide over to the main, and if you scroll over to the right, you've got more settings, and then choose high res, and then you've got the whopping 108 megapixels. So let's go for another lookup shot here. Oh, this is sick. On the phone, the display is fantastic, and these look crystal sharp, or crystal clear, really sharp, same thing. You know what I'm trying to say. I am gonna go back over to the wide lens though and get a leading line shot with these yellow lines here, which I've taken many times before on my, on a professional camera, but not many times on a phone. So let's see what this can do here. Yeah, really nice actually. We're just gonna go further down. I do wanna get another leading line shot of the gherkin, so we're gonna go back onto the wide lens, use these yellow lines in front of me. There's some leading lines. I'm gonna get really close to the floor actually with this. Oh, that's nice. The phone's done a really good job to actually expose everything. Nothing's overexposed, nothing's underexposed. Let's get another look up here on the wide lens, looking up at the Lloyd's building. Just some great architecture. Fantastic. Looks really clean, I like it. It's a shame there's not much going on in the sky. It's a pretty dull day today, but we have to deal with it. Let's go over to more select high resolution. Let's get one of the gherkin here. Just doing its thing, looking pretty cool. Let's check out that image. That is so sharp. I'm literally zoomed all the way in. I don't know if you could tell on the GoPro, I'll probably put it on screen. The detail that it captures is so cool. So cool to see that from a phone. Actually really surprised, that's really cool. Oh, I know that this is a classic lookup shot as well. But I'm going to keep the phone in just standard high res. I'm not going to use the wide lens for this because these buildings are tall enough. That is a cool shot. I mean, these images look gram ready. They look like I don't really need to edit them that much. I'm willing to just lob that on the story right now. That looks great. I think we've got another quality shot right there. Now that is nice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the wide lens just so you can see a little comparison between the wide lens and the standard lens. That is so sick. Then we can put both on screen and check out the main lens and the wide lens side by side. You can definitely see that the wide lens is obviously wider than the main lens, but the detail that both of them capture is pretty impressive. So one of the cool features that this phone has is in the camera app, you've got aperture, portrait, night, photo, video, and then multi-video, which I've never actually seen in a phone before. As you can see right now, I've got the selfie camera on and the back camera, which is filming everything that I'm seeing. So if I press record now, then you can see everything that I'm looking at, as well as my face looking all curious and looking around, which I think is super cool for people that are maybe creating Instagram reel content that just want to do it on their phone, people that are maybe doing TikTok content and they don't want to faff around with the hassle of putting all that content on a computer and then, you know, dual screening it and doing what I'm doing now. So you can literally just film the back camera and the selfie camera at the same time, which I think is pretty handy for those that just want to make content on their phone. They're on the move, they want to make it easy. So that's impressive to see. As well as the multi-video mode, front and back camera, if you go onto story in multi-video, it provides you with a whole bunch of templates for a few different types of videos that you might want to make, which again makes it so easy for people that just want to create videos on their phone. Just different styles of videos that you might want to make. And that's just sitting in the camera app next to video, photo, portrait, all that kind of stuff. So for people that just want to get started in making videos on their phone, this is a great place to start. So I just thought that this phone does have a Pro photo mode. So if you go all the way over to more, and then the top left it says Pro, This way we can change the exposure, change the shutter speed, change the ISO. So I've got the ISO on 100 nice and low, shutter speed at 1/20th of a second, which is actually super slow, and for regular photography that would make everything blurry. But I am going to try and get a little bit of a panning shot. I don't know if it's possible with a mobile phone, but we're going to wait for a bus, a bike, someone to pass by, and I'm going to try and get a nice panning shot where I move along with the subject, and then everything else should be blurry except the thing moving. So we've got a bus coming here. This could go terribly wrong, but I'm going to take a few images at 20th of a second. Let's see what that looks like. No way. That worked. That actually worked perfectly. No way did that work so easily. All right, I'm actually buzzing with that. I think, well, all of them looked pretty cool, but I think that second shot. So there's two really nice images came out of that. I mean, the composition's not amazing. It's a pretty boring street. We might have to try that again later on when we've got some more interesting subjects. I do actually want to test out the Aperture Mode on this. So get rid of Pro, go over to Aperture, and then we can create some really nice bokeh. Currently at f4. Let's change that all the way down to f1.4. Let's see how dreamy this looks. I mean, nothing special here, just a red light, but you can definitely see the depth between the lights and the buildings in the background. Whoa, that looks so cool. I'm actually very surprised at that. That looks very cool. Let's do it again, but change from f4. Let's go all the way down to 9.5. No way is this going to look any good. I'm actually very surprised. When phones try and add bokeh, it never normally looks this clean. Well, that looks very smooth. I'm really impressed with that. Hopefully we can try that out with some better subjects and not just a light. I'm now just in a shopping centre called One New Change, which is kind of opposite St Paul's, but looking down here, I mean, it's very Christmassy, but it's a great composition. And there's one or two many people in this, so I'm gonna wait. Oh my God, the colours look so good. I'm gonna wait until there's like just one person in frame. This angle is nice. The Christmas tree does look nice. The stairs kind of act as the focal point in the middle of the frame. That's cool. Let's see what those look like. The colours look great on this phone. Everything's sharp, everything's colourful. Okay, I do really like this balcony. This looks so cool. I don't know what, something about the glass. It's all reflective. It just makes for a nice composition. We're shooting on the main lens here. I think the wide lens would be too wide. I'm just going to snap a quick photo of these people. Definitely throw a cool edit on this as well. Nice. I like that a lot. That last frame is actually quite smart. So I'm still in the shopping centre. I'm still in One New Change. But I'm going to be looking at St Paul's in a minute. And I'm going to use these escalators to create some cool leading lines. Needs a little bit of work. I need to straighten it up a little bit, but I really like that. I think there's one or two images there that are quite nice. I like it. All right, classic reflection shot now, looking at St Paul's. I'm gonna go for a standard, standard leading line, center frame kind of shot here. You can't come to this location without taking this photo here. Very simple, but it always looks good. And go wide as well, or landscape even. These are so sharp. I think you can definitely tell the difference between the super wide lens and just the main lens. Although you get a better perspective with the wide, it's not as sharp or as clear as the main lens, obviously, because the main lens is shooting at 108 megapixels. All of these images are cool though, regardless. Really nice. So I'm near Regen Street now, and obviously you can see it's nighttime now. I say nighttime, but it's only 5:20, but it gets so dark so early. Now this shot here in front of me, which I'll just take a shot now so you can see what I'm talking about. It's definitely much nicer in the daytime because obviously we're outside. I'm going to go over to more high res and then shoot a leading line shot. But because we're shooting this at night, I'm just intrigued to see how the phone handles low light really is what I'm getting at here. So this is just on the main lens shooting at 108 megapixel. This street just looks so cool. And I'm kind of just intrigued to see what the low light looks like. Nothing's too overexposed. Sometimes in low light photography with phones, the phones sometimes struggle to capture the highlights, but it seems to have done a pretty good job there. Let's see if we can get a nice panning shot with the lights here. So I'm gonna go over to Pro Mode. Shutter speed at, I think it's gonna have to be like, what was it before when we did it earlier? 1/20th? Yeah, something like that. Let's see what that looks like. This is cool. Get this bus. That kind of worked, but it's not quite slow enough.
Ah, it's so flipping loud around here. Let's go 1/10 of a second. Ooh, that middle one's kind of cool. Okay, it does work at 1/20th. Let's see if we can get a better composition on that. Ooh, did I get the Porsche? I think I did. I think I'm really happy with that one. Nice work. I think that concludes it, really. I think that concludes that it definitely is possible to get a nice panning shot with this phone. Oh, that shot on Aperture was really nice. Lovely bit of depth of field on her as well. She was just working, making some cakes or whatever she was making.
There's a couple of main features that really impressed me, Pro Mode being one of them, where I was able to change the ISO, being able to change the shutter speed in the camera app. Super simple and easy to do. And it allowed me to get a bit more creative, it allowed me to try out those panning shots which you saw. Aperture Mode on this phone was also really cool to see. Shooting through the window when that woman in Chinatown was making those dumplings, that was so easy. The natural blur and bokeh that the phone gave off was cool. And those traffic lights I shot, which I think were at 1.4 and 1.8, the aperture and blur and bokeh that the phone created was actually really clean. I want to highlight one of the main features the Honor 50 boasts, which is the dual video mode, where you're able to film with the front camera and the back camera at the same time. Again, I said it earlier, but amazing for people that want to make content straight off their phone and put it straight onto Instagram, straight onto TikTok, wherever they want to post their content, instead of having to jump onto a computer and faff around with creating half screen dual effects and all that. The fact that the phone's got a couple of really nice templates and features for you to use, I thought that was just a nice touch. Thank you, Honor, once again for sponsoring this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the photos. If you did, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.